Hey,
Can you hear me?
yes, I can. How's it going?
Really good, thank you. Sorry I'm a few minutes late.
It's okay. All good.
Yeah, all good.
Nice
Do you
to
want
see
to?
you.
Yeah, I know, it's like bizarre, isn't it? all this way from the other side of the world. Technology is
Yeah,
amazing. I love it.
I know.
Okay, I was going to say, move your boxes, but bring it over a little bit so your box. That's it.
I know. I'm packing like my hospital bag and stuff, and look, I've got all like my body firming, like stomach firming, wet
Oh,
stuff
fantastic.
for
Well,
after.
you can mention all that if today as well if you want. If you want to mention anything about your podcasts and things as well, please do so. Let everyone know what you're up to. But we're going to ask that question anyway, aren't we?
Yeah, it's on the question list. So, did you want Dan to jump in about 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah, just if you can just let him know that depending on time, he might just have to wait for us, but he'll just be in the waiting room, okay?
Sure. All good.
So yeah, just let's just do it. I think we're pretty bomb-proof. We're bomb-proof, aren't we? And I think it's always good to have the questions before. There's nothing worse, is there, than a nasty surprise?
Of course. No, it's fine. Open book here. It's all good.
Okay, let me see now what we need to do. Live on Facebook, right? Just give me 2 ticks, Tracy.
Sure.
Just always takes so long, this bit. It's so annoying.
I know. It takes a while to connect it.
Oh, there must be. I just wish they'd do an easier way for us. And then you have to put some text in. You can't just press live. Anyway, we'll get there. Just got to find the page. Won't be a minute. Great. Wasn't sure if we were actually going to see you, with your imminent birth.
Yes, I know it could be any day, but I'm glad it's not this weekend. I need some downtime.
No, it's like when the date, I'm thinking, gosh, are you going to actually make it? You're so brave. But I suppose you just got to get on with it, haven't you?
This is true. I mean, you've got to pass the time somehow, right? Distractions.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So watch us live. That'll do. Now. Right, we're going to go for it. Okay, so I'll just give you a quick intro and then we'll go straight into the questions. Here we go. Hi, good morning. We are live this morning from Socialites with our new coffee morning, and our first ever guest on this series is Tracy Jewel from the Married at First Sight season 5. She was involved in quite a pretty big cheating scandal, but she says she doesn't hold grudges, so we're going to ask her lots of questions this morning on Cheshire Socialites and find out what the real truth is. So welcome, Tracy.
Hey, Joanna, thanks for having me on the other side of the world.
I know. What time are you there?
So yeah, it's dinner time, 7 p.m.
Oh, wow. Okay. So here, obviously, it's 11 a.m. So we've got our coffee cups ready. So I know you won't be having anything to drink because you are currently pregnant. So it's all
exciting. Although I still like my coffee, but these days it's decaf.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we just want to know all the gossip, but we just want to know who the real you is as well, obviously. So just going straight into it, really. I know that you praise the show for turning your life around. So is that true, or have you any regrets? Were you happy to actually go on the show?
Like, I don't regret going on the show. Would I have changed a few things about what I did on the show? Absolutely, in hindsight. The wrapping for one was just shocking, but that's Dean's fault, so we can have a go at him for that. But I think anything in hindsight, it's easy to go, oh, I'd do this differently, and I'd do that. But no, I'm really grateful to have been on it. And yeah, if I hadn't had that experience, then I truly believe I wouldn't be who I am with now, and my life wouldn't be what I have today.
Yeah, it's funny what sort of paths it goes down. I mean, you actually went on there to find a long life partner, and obviously that didn't happen, but sometimes it just makes you grow as a person, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's nothing like watching yourself back on television, warts and all, and go, okay, some of these things are not working for me. I need to change.
And what wasn't working for you, just so we know?
The type of guys I was going for, like 100%, Dean was the type of guy that I would always go for. They literally matched me with all my ex-boyfriends rolled into one. And I realized, you know what, this isn't going to give me what I want, long-term happiness. Like Dean and I are still, great friends, but I needed to change the type of men that I was going to go after. So
Yeah.
that's what it did for me.
And I think a lot of women go down that road, to be honest. So what were your real reasons for applying? Did you have lots of dating disasters?
Yeah, like when you just get stuck in a rut, and they approached me on Facebook of all places, and I just felt like I was going on the same dates over and over again, repeating the same old patterns. Yeah. And I thought, you know what, I think by like your mid-30s, you kind of lose faith that you think you know what you're doing. And I was just like, I just want to surrender this and hand it over to someone else to worry about. Mm-hmm. And at the time I was considering, using a matchmaker even to try and match me. So that's why I thought it was a great opportunity to just, handball it to another expert.
And what an experience. I mean, you say that they approached you on Facebook. Do you mean the show, or do you mean men in general? So you didn't actually apply?
No, I didn't apply. They approached me on Facebook, and the opportunity came up, and I was single and, a bit unhappy, and thought, why not? Let's do it.
So how does that work? Do you think they're just looking at, is there a certain criteria then that they're looking for when they approach you? Because we are led to believe here that you all apply.
Some people apply. I think they obviously know what they're looking for in terms of a mix of people.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, they want to match, really interesting matches, as well as the dinner party. They don't want everyone the same. Because, no. You throw 20 people into a room at a dinner party, of course there's going to be wine thrown and, things go on, right? When you've got 20 different personalities. So I think they kind of had a typeset of what types of people they're looking for.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, you've got to have a mix of people for that sort of explosion and that great viewing, haven't you? It's got to be like that. You can't just have like, all these people sat there not saying anything. So you can appreciate from their viewing side, I suppose, and what they want to get out of it. That's why they do it.
Exactly. And obviously Dean is a very different personality to me. And that's 100% why we were matched, because you cannot not have some conflict and different opinions.
No. Right. But you weren't in the most explosive season, at least. So this last one's been absolutely, for us, the season 6 has been absolutely, God, it's like fireworks every day.
Yeah. And we recently just filmed a reunion with season 6. So it was our season and their season together for like a big reunion. And I was not prepared at all for the level of drama and energy they brought to a dinner party. I thought, what is going on? Ours was so tame compared to theirs.
Yeah, exactly. So do you think the show did change you then? I mean, I know everyone's going to have after effects as well from it, and I know you've got Grace, you've got a daughter, haven't you?
Yeah.
Did it affect your family, and did it affect you and change you?
Yeah, I really was naive of what I was walking into and how much it would affect my life. And I'm very private with my daughter. I don't share her on social media. She wasn't part of filming for a reason. So I was trying to minimize the impact to my family, but you can't control the media, right? So I could control the fact that some of my family and my daughter wasn't on the show, but that didn't stop like paparazzi and photographers and media following us around and taking photos. So while I could minimize it, I couldn't stop it completely.
No.
And that was harder to navigate than what was showing on television.
Yeah. And how did she feel about you being on the show, your daughter? Was she okay with it?
Yeah, like, you know, it's an adult show. I certainly, you know, was very selective on what she could watch, you know, so I wanted to include it, you know, like she met Dean off camera. She met the camera crew off camera. She was a part of the experience, just not on camera. So she felt included. And I allowed her to watch bits and pieces, not everything. You know, and I think she just thought, oh, well, it's just mum. Like, I'm so uncool and boring to her. So it was just like no big deal, right? Like, we're the uncoolest people in the world and we're just an embarrassment. And that's no different with the show to everyday life.
Yeah. But that's kids, isn't it? They just take it in the stride. So what did happen between Dean and Davina? We want the true side, because you hear it all in the press. And I mean, we are going to have Dean on in a while, so he can explain also. But from your side, what were you told and what happened?
Yeah, you know, it's so interesting because, again, in hindsight, you can kind of see what's happening. But at the time, I had zero clue what was going on between Dean and Davina, hand on heart. I had no idea. I had my rose-colored glasses on. I thought our honeymoon and our relationship was great. You know, we were intimate. He was saying all the right things to me. So I really was blindsided. I really did not see it coming. But then again, when I watched it back on TV and seeing what did happen behind the scenes, I'm like, how could I have not known? You know?
I know.
In real life, I think a lot of people that are cheated on, you know, when it does come out, you can see the warning signs, right? But at the time,
right?
But in the time, if you're not looking for it and you're a trusting person, you just don't expect it.
No, and I think, to be fair, you would not expect that would have happened, because you were going onto that show to find love and you committed to each other. And that is the last thing that you would have thought would have happened. Yeah,
and before our series, you know, Dean kind of laughs that he's like the enigma that started the whole cheating situations. I don't know if that's something to be proud of or not. But before our season, like, swapping partners wasn't a thing on the show. And I know you have, you know, your own version over there in the US. People don't go on the show to swap partners. It's supposed to be a relationship experience, an experiment. So for me, like, it didn't even register that, oh yeah, let's just see how we go and try someone else on.
Well, no, it's not really the done thing. He'll be getting a telling off from me later. I don't know if many know, but you actually went on to date Sean, didn't you?
I did,
so how did that come about? And obviously, you know, it's again, it's one of those. This is, I think, like you say, this was the season that everyone started to either swap or cheat or whatever. So how did that come about?
So Sean was from the same city as me, and he wasn't on the show very long. So we really didn't have a chance to chat on the show while filming. And, you know, he wasn't even on my radar. But when filming stopped, we reached out to each other because you kind of need support with someone you can trust, right? And because we were the only two from the same city, it was an easy decision to catch up for coffees and dinners and, you know, be a support for each other. And then, you know, rebound, one thing led to another. It was one of those situations where I was, you know, disappointed and a little bit heartbroken because I had a soft spot for Dean and, you know, that relationship was over. And Sean and I were a bit of a rebound situation, that's for sure. We've all been there, ladies, come on.
Yeah. And do you think that was the same for him? Do you think he was on a rebound as well?
Yeah, I think, you know, the experience wasn't what he wanted it to be. His relationship on the show didn't work out. for him, he'd gone back. He chose to be on the show because he wanted something different for his life. That didn't work out. So yeah, I think for both of us, it was just a timing thing of, healing each other's wounds, so to speak.
Yeah, and obviously talking about after the show, how did you deal with that attention? I mean, was it expected or was it just horrendous? I mean, how do you deal with that kind of attention?
Yeah, well, this is the thing, right? I was really proud of how I handled myself on the show, and I stood by all my decisions and what I said. So I didn't have an issue with that attention because you kind of sign up for that. But I had an issue with everyone having an opinion of me personally.
Yeah.
Old friends and boyfriends coming out of the woodwork, lies and bullying. I was not prepared for that. And that's what really affected me, not so much the show.
Oh, okay. So have you had any problems with like trolls and bullies online, all this nonsense that everyone seems to get? Have you had all that?
Yeah, like any reality show, I mean, you look at Love Island and your shows in the UK that are really popular. And unfortunately, a lot of them have, come out with mental health issues and things. It's no different to our show.
Yeah.
It really opens you up to a world that you're just not prepared for because we're not actors and actresses. We're just normal people.
Exactly.
And the bullying is relentless. The opinions are relentless. And, you're thrown into this new world trying to navigate it. And I developed anxiety from it.
Did you?
Because I just didn't feel safe. Like it was like, and people are like, well, just turn off social media, but it's not that easy, right?
No, definitely not. So how did you find that way then to deal with it? Did you start seeing counselor, or did you do yoga, or so everyone has a way of dealing with things, don't they? Or did you just switch off?
Yeah, like I needed some professional help for a while because I really got myself in a dark place and I'd never experienced anxiety before the show. So I didn't really know what was happening to me. So 100%, I saw a psychologist for a while, got some help. And then I started just taking my power back and developing self-care practices like meditation and really limiting the effects it had on me. So I'd, say, okay, we all need social media, right? So that's not the answer, but I'm going to limit it to this amount of time in this block so then I could manage it.
That's a really good tip, actually, because that's what I do, even though I do a lot online. It can take you over. So that's a really good tip for anyone struggling, just limit your time each day.
And not to read anything before bed, because that's when you wake up with the negative thoughts going over and over what you're reading, right? So from like dinner time, there's no phone and the phone doesn't come with me to bed. Like that's it. And that really helps me.
Yeah, that's really, really good. So talking about feelings, how did you feel when I was so proud of you, by the way, when you actually did dump Dean at this final commitment ceremony. I think, you did that for many women out there and you came across as so strong and brave. But how did you actually feel about the decision and how, when you actually did it?
It was really hard because I'd really fallen for Dean through the process and I could see that he was a good guy underneath it all, but a lot happened between us. And it really was a decision that I didn't make lightly. I made it in the last week, like literally at the last minute. And I thought, you know what? I've been cheated on before. This is a pattern. I do, I have some self-worth issues that I need to work through. Now is not the time for me to be in a relationship, especially from that foundation and that place. I really need to sort this out. So it was a much bigger decision than just saying no to Dean. It was saying no to my whole history of relationships.
Yeah. And, you were so respected for doing that because it wasn't easy and you could clearly see that you'd fallen for him. So, it was superb. And, it really was that I honestly thought you were going to stay with him.
Well, yeah, like there was, and that's why we're still good friends to this day, because there was a real kind of friendship there and base there between us and a real connection, right? And that's what made it a lot harder to make that decision. But obviously really glad I did.
Yeah, well, this is it. This is it now, isn't it? And how your life has changed. I mean, you are now married. You've got a child on the way, and you've already got a child, haven't you?
Yeah.
So let's start from the beginning. So you actually got together with Nathan, which is your childhood sweetheart. Tell us about that.
From high school, yeah. So this is the thing, right? When you're not looking for someone, someone shows up, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of never really believed that until it happened to me, to be honest. And look, you know, I went on the show because I'm a relationship girl. I've always loved being in relationships. I did, you know, the time was ticking. I did want another child. So when Nathan came into my life, over 2.5 years ago now, which was about 9 months after the show, it was just like easy because we knew each other before we went to high school together. We dated in high school. There was still a connection there. And it was just easy and effortless. And he was exactly the opposite of every other guy that I'd been dating and attracting. Now we're married and expecting a baby boy, and life is beautiful and easy. And, you know, from the dark places I've been in, there's always hope that things can turn around. And I'm literally living the vision that I always had before MAFS of being married and having a baby, and it's what I always wanted. So I'm very, very grateful.
Oh, we're very pleased for you. It's just lovely news, and we're lucky to have you here because you are any day, aren't you? You're going to give birth.
Any day.
It's like, no, actually, it could be a first. You could go into labour in this interview.
Don't make me laugh too much.
Oh yeah, pelvic floor.
It's an issue right now.
Yeah. So obviously, while off the show and while you've been busy with your private life, have you sorted, what you're doing work-wise? I know you're doing podcasts, aren't you? Just tell us about that.
Yeah. So I've always been in marketing before and after the show and wellness. I love health and wellness and all things self-care. And as a way to connect with people, I love having a chat like this in a casual chat. So the podcast was just the right platform for me to connect, you know, people seeking for wellness and all the wellness professionals I help with their marketing.
Oh, wow.
So it's like a win-win of introducing people to new wellness modalities that they might not have come across before. So we go into real weird, different woo-woo stuff, not just your traditional meditation or yoga stuff. We do like sound healing stuff and all kinds of things. So it's super fun.
Oh, wow. Can you put some details? Can you send them over and I'll pop them on the live for people and they can follow you and, learn more about that?
Yeah, and they can jump on my Instagram at Tracy Jewel because I share all the podcast episodes on there as well.
I'll put the links on anyway. So obviously Dean's coming on in a minute. So Mike, really we just want to know before he comes on, because we can talk behind his back, you see. Do you actually forgive Dean?
Of course. You know, I forgave him while we were filming the show. I think, you know, it's harder to forgive yourself than someone else, number one. But two, you have to make a decision one way or another. You have to draw a line in the sand. And there's no way I could have been myself on the show if I didn't 100% forgive him. And that's just the way I've always been. I mean, I know that's a little bit black and white, but life's too short to hold on to past stuff to carry around with you.
Yeah, and I think it's for your own sanity, isn't it? I mean, if you don't forgive someone, it just sits on your shoulders forever and a day, and it's not healthy.
Yeah. I've always been a looking forward person, not dragging stuff from the past. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So do you think we should get him on? He is waiting. He's in the waiting room. So I think we should get him on and give him a hard time. So he's portrayed as a villain. So let's bring him on. This is Dean Wells. Just get the connection up. Should be here.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how are ya?
We're really good. We're having great chat,
That's good.
Tracy and I, and we're talking about
Oh,
you behind
really?
your back.
I'm sure.
All
Tracy
good
loves
things,
doing that.
Jane.
Yeah. Could you pop your video on for us?
Is it not working? Hold on.
We're all in matching black today. There you go.
There we go.
Oh, no, he's in
How's
yellow. Hi. That's great. Wonderful. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I sure can.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay. Well, you've just been portrayed as a villain. That was your intro in. That's what everyone believes you are. So we've just got to put all this straight now. So yeah, it's just really, I want to know, do you regret doing that show? And what you've learned from the experience, really?
Yeah, look, it's a good question. I don't regret it at all. I don't regret anything I do in life. There's definitely good and bad things that, happen during that 2-month period while you're filming, and there's good and bad things that happen after. I try and focus on the positive things, and it's a great life experience, and made tons of good friends, and had some just fun stuff has come out of it, and had a really good time. So yeah, I don't regret it at all.
Well, I'm glad to hear, because I think anything like that is a really great life experience.
Yeah, it was awesome. We had a lot of fun shooting it as well, and on the show, especially like with the music and all the drama that goes down, it probably looks a bit more serious at times than it really was in real life. Like, we had a ball in the hotel room, and we did lots of fun stuff as a group together, even though it mightn't look like you're all friends at the time. We were pretty much all friends for most of the time. We had a ball.
Well,
is that right, Tracy? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, we had more fun off camera than on. And Dean and I spent, because I was new to Sydney, we spent a lot of time doing really cool things off camera, hanging out with Dean's friends and having drinks at the pub, and so it was kind of cool because there's no pressure off camera as well, right?
Yeah,
it's like being in prison. Like when you're shooting the show, there's just so much pressure, and it's like the camera crew comes to wake you up at 7:30 every morning. You literally get woken up with a camera operator and like a director and a sound person all in your face, like waking you up in the morning. So
it's pretty
God. Intense for a while there.
On for 12 weeks, doesn't it? God, that's
we shot for about 2 months.
Yeah, it felt like a long time. Yeah,
it is. So you are sort of quoted in the press to say the expert were fed lines. Can you explain what you meant by that?
The experts? Oh yeah, for sure. Like, they're they sit there and they have a headset on, and it was quite a shock. The first commitment ceremony, when we first met the experts, we didn't get told that that's what happened. So, sometimes you'll say something to them and they will stop and pause for like 10, 15 seconds before they respond, or and you're like, what's going on here? And then you realize, they're getting fed instructions from the producers. A big part of it is kind of real-time banter, and they do have normal conversations with you as well. But there's definitely times where they're being directed by the producers to say certain things.
Yeah, I mean, they want the best out of it. They want to make it as scandalous and most probably as watchable as possible, where you just can't put it down. And I know I'm like that.
Yep.
Quite surprised myself about
for sure.
the show. Yeah, I'm not really into these things, but I'm absolutely hooked.
Look, it was funny. Like in Australia, I'd never watched the show before I was on it, and I had so many people say exactly what you just said. Like, I've never really been into these shows before, but now I'm hooked. And like, it was kind of a cultural phenomenon here in Australia when our season was on. It was massive. Everyone was talking about it. Like, you couldn't walk down the street. We couldn't walk down the street without being like surrounded by 20 people like wanting to talk to us and stuff. It was intense for a while there in Australia, and it rated through the roof here in Australia. The TV ratings were the highest, I think, of any show ever of all time in Australia. And I mean,
the Australian one has gone absolutely bonkers, hasn't it?
Yeah, what's up with it over there? I get a lot of messages and people saying that they're watching it and stuff, but I don't really understand, like, is it really big and really popular? I was walking down the Corso in Manly the other day, and this couple stopped me out of nowhere, and they were like, oh, hey, it's you. Oh my God, I can't believe we're getting to meet you. They were an English couple and they'd just come back from England like a couple of weeks before that. And they wanted to get a photo with me and stuff. And like, it was like they'd seen, you know, a real celebrity or something. Like they were really like blown away to see me. And I was like, oh, hey guys, how are you?
Yeah.
So is it like really popular there or what's the vibe?
Oh God, yeah. It's massive here. It's actually more popular than ours.
Wow.
But I think English are a little bit more conservative, and they maybe we're just a bit more boring. I don't know, but it's just more watchable. Yours.
Well, our show, Married at First Sight Australia, was pretty conservative up until our season, and you know, a lot of what happened, I guess, between Tracy and I and Davina was considered scandalous or, you know, really like controversial. But like at the time we were doing it, I mean, I think we were all just kind of being ourselves. We weren't really trying to cause a specific controversy. You know, it was just, we just reacted. And I always, if I'm going to do this, I'm just.
Having a few techno problems, I think. Sorry, Dean. You just keep freezing
honest, or maybe could have been a bit more, you know, considerate of other people's feelings at times. But I was just being brutally honest. So yeah, at least in that respect, I was true to myself.
Yeah, I mean, it's a start. It was a start. Sorry, Tracy. Like, it was the start.
Yeah, like our season was definitely very authentic, and everyone was just themselves, right? Where I think now it is becoming more about the ratings and what crazy thing can I say to get a reaction rather than it be like actually who we are. And that's what I've noticed.
It totally seems that way. It seems like people are having an affair every single season to try and sort of emulate what happened on our season. It feels like some of these people that go on the show, that have been on the show after us, saw our notoriety and saw how big and sort of popular, I guess, our season was, and they wanted to make their season big and popular, and it's become the trend now to really just go a bit scandalous with it.
Well, it did start with your sort of season, didn't it? That's, you know, and it's just got worse. I mean, this season 6 finished here, and oh my God, as I was saying to Tracy before, it's like fireworks every day.
Yeah,
it was explosive. What was going on?
Yeah. It is quite like addictive. Hey, like I kind of try and avoid watching it. It's not normally my kind of show, but I did start watching this current season that's on now in Australia, and like I'm kind of hooked. I'm like, oh my God, Sunday! I can't wait for the commitment ceremony, and bloody Bryce is doing this. I can't believe he said that to Sam. I'm like, oh my God, what has happened to me? I've become a reality TV.
But Dean, like, where are they finding these douchebag guys? Like. Seriously.
What's wrong with them? What have they done wrong? Like, what? I don't understand the big problem with Bryce at the moment. Why does everyone hate this Bryce guy? I don't get it. And I spoke to him.
Don't even get me started.
No, I've had a good chat with Bryce, and I know for a fact that a lot of the stuff that's being said about him in the media is total bullshit. And, you know, I believe in him 100% because I had so much lies and rubbish spoken about me in the media, and they just twist it and turn it into something that it's completely not. And so, you know, I feel for that Bryce guy. And he's getting attacked by these ridiculous feminists, like hardcore extremist feminists who hate men and just want to talk nasty stuff about men all the time. And I feel bad for the guy. So, you know, I can definitely feel a bit of sympathy for these guys. Yeah, I know there's been some quite tricky editing tricks as well this season.
Absolutely. We spoke to Jessica Power only a few days ago. It's not gone out yet. She had to do a pre-record, and she was saying that no one can tell you how to act and things, but there is a lot of and what to say, but there's a lot of very clever editing.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I'm an editor. I've been a video editor. I used to edit reality TV shows, so I know every single trick in the book. And I'm not saying that, you know, what I did on the show was all completely editing. There's definitely a lot of it's real. Like people ask me how real or how fake is it, and I like to say it's like 70% real. Right. So it's pretty much like what went down in general, but there's 30% like sort of manipulation. They will take a word here or there from another sentence, and Frank can edit it into a totally different sentence to make a situation seem different to what it really was. So, and, you know, that's their job. Like, it can be frustrating as the person sort of who becomes the brunt of all these jokes and all this commentary about me and who I am as a person and my character. So it is frustrating to see, you know, the editing tricks that they use sometimes, but they're just doing their job as well. And, you know, it made the show really popular. So I'm thankful for that, and I'm happy about that. But yeah, it's pretty tricky, some of the stuff. Like, Tracy and I talked about it on my YouTube channel. We talked about this scene with Charlene. Charlene attacked me, and like, they couldn't show what Charlene actually said to me that night because it was too intense. Like, I don't even want to repeat it now. And it was disrespectful to Tracy and myself and everyone else. And I fought back to Charlene. I was like, how dare you say that? That's ridiculous. And I was so angry at her. And then in the edit, they didn't actually show what she said to me. So it looked like I was just reacting out of nowhere and being a bit overboard and reacting way more extreme to what they actually showed that she said. So, you know, things like that, it's kind of frustrating when you watch it back.
Very much so. And she was very outspoken, but I think everyone knew that. You always get one, don't you? And it was Cyrell in season 6 here for us.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
She's a firecracker, I'll tell you what.
Oh, just rein it in. It's ridiculous.
She loves the drama.
People after a few drinks that can't really regulate their emotions, or they speak before they actually think. They're like the best candidates for dinner parties.
Do you think that's all done on purpose with the drinks? Are they free flowing? Do they want you to say all these things? They must do.
I mean,
it's not just the drinks, right, Dean? It's like you're tired and exhausted, and they're long filming days and very, very long filming nights. So you're put in a situation where, you know, you're tired, exhausted, and a few drinks, maybe not eating. You know, the pressure, the stress.
Yeah, it's not like you're getting sloshed. Like, it's pretty responsible service of alcohol. Like, if you have a couple, if you start to seem a little bit tipsy, they'll cut you off. Like, they're not just feeding you full of drinks. The other thing you got to realize is that shoot goes to like 3 a.m. sometimes, and you get tired and we just want to leave. You're over it. So you end up just saying stuff so that Tara, the producer, will come in and go, all right, cool, we've got enough to work with now. You know, that's what happened on our boys' night. Our boys' night was so boring. And like, by that time we were all really worried, like careful about what we were saying on camera. And then Tara comes in and goes, you guys are boring as shit. This is hopeless. You have to say something to him. And NASA, you hate Dean. So why don't you say this? And so we literally just wanted to get the hell out of there. So we're like, all right, boys, let's ramp it up. And that's when we started talking about like who would hook up with, like, who would be your second pick and all that kind of stuff. It was just like,
It's frozen.
Yeah, so that's funny how it works.
Oh, well, that happened in season 6, I believe, with Jessica. She was saying exactly the same. They were saying, we're not leaving till you say a certain 3 a.m. So it's obviously a pattern, isn't it? But just going back to yourself, and you saying that you didn't regret being on the show, is it true that you had to shut your business down, Frisbee, because of the show?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know why, but before I went on the show, I tried to sort of separate my professional persona with, you know, the character or the person I was on the show, just in case, which turned out to be a pretty good move because the advertising industry, which is sort of the industry that I'm in Australia, came after me. I was, you know, considered this big misogynist, sexist man who was, you know, the epitome of everything wrong with men, basically. And, you know, the shut up. I got a cheeky little character over here commentating. Get out of my way.
Oh, hello.
This is Bella. But
Hi, Bella. Nice to meet you.
Get out. She's trying to distract me and doing all kinds of crazy stuff off camera. You don't even know. But what was I saying? Yeah, the advertising industry, you know, they're quite what's the word? You know, politically correct and whatnot. And so am I, to be honest. But I was portrayed in a certain way, and they came after me. There were articles written about me saying, "Who is this guy? What's the name of his business? We want to cancel him. We want to shut down his business." And it just put a lot of strain and pressure on the relationships between me and my business partners at the time. And in the end, it was just kind of too much for them. And yeah, just the whole business kind of, we just ended the business over that whole situation.
That's sad, isn't it?
And yeah, it was pretty disappointing, but you know, everything happens for a reason. And I took probably a year or so off and just enjoyed the ride. You get a few gigs here and there where you can make some money off like public appearances or little, you know, Instagram collaborations and things like that. So I just kind of had a bit of a year of enjoying that stuff. And then just in the last like 12 months, I've started to rebuild my business, Arcade Studios. That's my actual creative agency. And I'm in the office right now at Arcade Studios. So yeah, things are back to normal now, and definitely disrupts your life though. Oh my Lord. Our lives were crazy for a while there. Hey, Tracy.
Yeah, and like it's kind of like trial by social media. Like like Dean, we're from similar industries in marketing, and I lost clients too. And it's like it's crazy to me because it's like I haven't committed a crime here. I really haven't done anything wrong.
No.
And you can't control public perception. So as Dean said, it's better just to lie low, let it all like kind of ride over, and then people forget and life moves on. But for that year, like work was hard, work was tough.
Yeah.
Really tough.
I couldn't walk into a corporate meeting. Like, can you imagine me at the height of all that walking into a corporate meeting? It would be like seeing Satan himself walk in the door. Basically, like I was literally the most hated man in the country. Like so many people wanted to kill me. Like it was wild. It was wild. I kind of enjoyed that though.
Crazy though, isn't it? Come on, that is absolutely crazy. But like you say, you can't control anything. And I suppose you don't think that far ahead what's going to happen. But very extreme that you had to finish your business. And this was all due to you, obviously, having an affair with Davina. So now
look, it wasn't even that. It was a promo that they played about me before the show even started. That's what caused all the controversy. Yeah, and I don't think you guys got to see it in the UK. No. Yeah, we talk, Tracy and I break it down on my YouTube. We show this promo. It's like a minute promo, and I'm just sitting there. You don't see my mouth move properly the whole time, and they've put a graphic behind my head that says the word obey, and then they made up this catchphrase for me. Dean wants a wife to love, honor, and obey him. And they put this really ominous music. And I said a few things like, I like to be the alpha male in a relationship. I want a woman that listens to me. I said, yeah. And when I said I want a woman that listens to me, all I was talking about was in a communication sense, not that I want someone to do everything that I say or a slave or anything like that. It's ridiculous. It sort of got edited really badly and it sounded pretty bad. And in Australia, there was protests, there was petitions. Everyone wanted the show cancelled before it even went on because of me, because of this 30-second promo. It was insane.
How lucky was I to be matched with you, Dave?
Yeah. Well, and the affair didn't help either. But
we have to talk about it. I'm sorry. We will keep it brief, but what actually happened? What is the truth with you and Davina? When it came across on the show, is that how it actually unfolded, or we just want it from the horse's mouth, really?
Yeah. Look, yeah, like, I mean, basically, Ryan and I had a chat off camera, and he told me that Davina liked me. And I was like, okay. And, Tracy and I were getting along really well as friends, but I felt like romantically we weren't quite there, and it wasn't really vibing for us romantically. But, Davina and I had sort of just exchanged a few looks and a little bit of flirty conversation here and there. And Ryan had said to me that Davina was not interested in him. He was not interested in her, but she was interested in me. And I was like, really? Okay, that's interesting. So, yeah, Davina called me one night off camera and said, hey, yeah, look, it's not happening with Ryan. I really like you. How about we just leave this whole experiment and just go and pursue our relationship outside of the bounds of the experiment? And I just said to her, look, I'm here as part of an experiment. I always said I was going to be myself and be true to myself. if we're going to do this, if we're going to explore this kind of relationship, why don't we do it as part of the experiment? Why don't we do it on the show? And she was like, okay, let's do it. So with that comes all the logistics. And this feels pretty bad. I feel bad even telling Tracy about this and saying this in front of Tracy. She already knows about it anyway. But what they had to do was get Ryan and Tracy away for the day, because you have a really solid shooting schedule. You have stuff planned out weeks in advance that you're going to do that day. But all of a sudden we threw catch up and have a drink and see how things sort of were progressing with us. And so they got Tracy and Ryan to go to a photo shoot, I think, and said, oh yeah, a magazine wants to do a photo shoot with you guys. And while they were off doing that, Davina and I went and had this secret like drink together and had a chat. And yeah, there was a bit of a vibe there, and we were sort of getting along quite well. And that's, yeah, and there were big chats with the producers about how it was going to be revealed. I wasn't allowed to say it to Tracy off camera. I had to do it at the commitment ceremony. And well, this is what they tell you at the time. And you kind of agree with, I'm just a naive person that's never been through all this before. And they're like, you have to do it this way. The only way we're going to let this happen is if you do it on the couch in front of everyone. And I was like, okay, cool. So I had to keep it secret for, I think, a couple of days. And then I revealed it all on the couch, which is what you all saw.
Yes.
And that was basically it. Like, really not that much happened between Davina and I. We never even like kissed.
Wow.
That was really it. We had one conversation where we went for a drink. We had that other conversation, which you saw, which was outside at the dinner party. And that was at that time, during that conversation, there was a lot of stuff you didn't see in that conversation. That conversation actually went for about half an hour. And Davina and I started to see a different side of her. She was quite, what's the word? She was just really intense and like already talking about getting married and her dad's going to and all this stuff. And it just kind of put me off her. And then that next day I changed my mind and said, sorry, Davina, I'm not going to be with you. I want to stay with Tracy. So that's basically how it all unfolded.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that you've sort of put the record straight, because you just don't quite know, do you? Unless you hear it from the horse's mouth. Are you still in touch with her? Are you friends with her? Or
Davina?
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I'm friends with her. We're not like really close or anything. We speak every now and then. She has a partner now, Jax, who I've met as well. Yeah. We all went to the Logies together. That's the TV awards here in Australia, and I met her and her partner Jackson there. That was cool. And yeah, I think she's a great girl, Davina. I think she got portrayed. I mean, she's sassy and like funny and kind of, that's just part of her persona. And I think she got portrayed a lot worse than she really is and copped it really hard. I think she's still a hardworking, down-to-earth, honest girl that just wanted the right partner and got matched with someone who was completely wrong for her. She hated Ryan.
It seems
and she's a mum. And she's a mum now.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
And she's a mum. Yeah.
It seems to me that you get matched wrong. I don't know, but as I say, that is for the ratings. Do you talk to her, Tracy? Are you friends?
No, but like, there's no, we all move on. I'm really happy she's with someone and a mum, and it looks like it really suits her, and she's really happy. So I'm happy for her. I think everyone deserves to find what they're looking for. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So do you regret cheating on Tracy? But you see, I say that, and I don't feel it is cheating now, really, is it? I mean, it wasn't right.
Look,
but
yeah, there was definitely some elements of how can I say it? Yeah, a bit of deception here and there. That I regret. And Tracy and I get away. Tracy and I had become a lot closer, probably in the final few weeks of the experiment. And I guess at the time, I felt I was just following my heart. I felt a little bit, what's the word? Like, I felt a bit, I don't know, like I said leave in the first week, even though Tracy and I did have a good time on our honeymoon. I just felt it wasn't working romantically. And I just said, I want to leave. And then because they made me stay, I just felt a bit like, oh, well, bugger you guys. I'll just sort of have a bit of fun with it, do whatever I want. And, yeah, so, I definitely regret hurting Tracy's feelings. And you know, I apologized and we moved on from it. She's an adult. We're good friends now. So yeah, you know,
Yeah.
some regrets
And
there.
so you don't think you would have stayed together had you cheated or not then, really? It was more friendship.
Yeah, I don't think we would have, regardless of that, I don't think it would have worked out long term for sure.
No.
Yeah, we have a lot in common and we still do, but like there's so many logistical things as well. Like Tracy's from Perth, I'm from Sydney. They're other sides of the country. Like
and now you're with a Perth girl, Dean.
Yeah, but she lives here in Sydney.
I know. I'm from Perth. I know, but you know, Perth girls aren't that bad. Perth girls aren't that bad. Perth girls rule. Yeah.
This little voice coming up.
They're crazy. Perth girls are crazy. That's why I like them.
But you love us. So just tell us about, you did this Dancing with the Stars, didn't you? What was the experience like with that?
Oh, that was awesome. Like, I mean, the learning to dance part of it, the physical kind of challenge that you go through, the transformation from being like literally the furthest person from being able to dance that you could possibly be to actually learning how to dance. That was amazing. But they had this character again set for me, you know, that show, they have to simplify who you are and what character you are. So I'm, of course, the big bad cheater from reality TV. And so they wanted me to say, lines like, so they recreated our wedding scene at the start of Dancing with the Stars, where I got introduced to my dance partner, Alex, right? She walked down the aisle. That was kind of how they introduced me and her. Then we filmed a little bit, and then the producer says to Alex, okay, Alex, say the line, say the thing that we want you to say to Dean. And so it was obviously a pre-scripted line. And Alex said, okay, Dean, you know, I know that you have a bit of a problem taking orders from women and that you don't like being, you know, told what to do by a woman. So how are you going to handle being like, you know, me being your dance teacher and your leader for the next 7 weeks? And it was just like, oh my God, like really, like that's the angle you guys are going to try and play here. Like, and I mean, my answer, what I actually said when she said, I was like, yeah, that's fine. Like, you're a professional dancer. I'm hopeless at dancing. I'm going to do everything you tell me to do. And thanks so much for taking me on board. Right. You know, it's just a normal answer. When we get to the show, they edited my whole entire answer out and just had me going, like making a face and going, oh, maybe, like, which they took from another sentence and made it look like I was really like doubtful that I could take orders from a woman. So that was quite frustrating.
Did you not learn from the first time?
Look, I did. And by that time, I'm just kind of having a bit of a fun with it. But I did refuse to say certain lines. They kept saying like, well, you know, when we learned the tango, they were like saying, you know, the tango is a very masculine dance and the leader is the man and the man. So can you give us a line where you say something like, I like to be the alpha male and I'm the leader here and I'm going to lead Alex around. I was like, no, I'm not saying that. That's ridiculous. So I think they were a bit frustrated with me because I wouldn't really play along to the stereotypical like alpha male character that they wanted me to play along to. But aside from that, it was an amazing experience. And like, I got kicked off first. I came last. So would have been good to last a bit longer, but I did learn to dance and learn a whole new skill and met a whole bunch of cool people. So yeah, I loved it.
Oh, really that's cool. Fantastic. I haven't actually seen that, but obviously that's been in the press. So I just wondered if you'd danced before as well, because it's quite a brave thing to do, isn't it?
Oh, it's so hard. And I got a new respect for dancers and how physical, mental, like it's such a challenging thing to do in so many ways. It's, I think I underestimated how tough dancing really is. And no, I definitely had not danced before. And I found it really challenging, but I loved every minute of it.
Well, another experience, isn't it, really? So where is your future? Where are you going now? If you've obviously rebuilt your career.
Yeah, very good question. So I mean, arcade studios and creative work is what I love to do, and I'll always be doing that. That's my company. We also started a wine brand called Little Ripples, and that's really an interesting project. So Little Ripples is an innovative wine brand here in Australia. We have a bunch of really good Australian wines, but we also have a charity initiative where every bottle of wine that we sell, we donate 1 year of clean water to one person in a developing country. At the moment, we've built 8 water wells in Uganda, and it's working really well. We get these reports back from these villages in Uganda where, you know, there's just crazy things going on in those places, and we take for granted how easy it is for us to get water. And in these places, they literally have to walk, you know, 8 kilometers, 10 kilometers through a bloody crocodile-infested river to get this dirty, disgusting water that's going to make them sick anyway.
Yeah.
And so that is really fulfilling for me, like to work on Little Ripples, sell good wine, have a really good good happy experience drinking wine, but then you can also help someone in a developing community. So
you
we
can
just
buy that online, can you?
You can buy it online. We're not available in the UK. We don't ship to the UK just yet. We are working on that, and we've got some distributors in the UK that want to pick it up. So it's something we're working on. Yeah, that's like such a good project. I get to be creative. I get to drink wine whenever I want. It's part of my job to drink wine, actually.
I know poor Tracy can't have any.
I can't.
No, she will be soon. Don't worry.
Now.
I'm sending her a case of wine for when she's able to drink wine again, and I'm sure she's going to make the most of that.
It won't be long. It won't be long now. So, just to wrap up, really, on the obviously Married at First Sight, you've reported also in the press that you said it's very fake. Can you just put us clear on that? Do you actually feel that after saying that you don't regret going on?
Yeah, I don't regret going on. And when I say it's fake, I mean, like I said before, it's like 70% real, but that 30% that's not real is blown way out of proportion. You know, like at the reunion show, we just did the reunion show like a couple of months ago here in Australia. And again, they have a storyline in their heads already planned out for you. And the producers were saying to me things like, all right, Dean, can you just say something along the lines of, you know, I'm the villain and people know me for cheating on the show and this is who I am. And I was just like, no, I'm not going to say that. But they'll just keep sort of pushing you until you say something like that. And I was just mucking around with them for a while there. And I ended up saying something like, some people see me as a villain, other people see me as a hero. And like, I was literally just taking the piss, like having a laugh about it. And that became the first line they used on the show. And it was like this big, bold line with like, you know, really serious music and it's big dramatic. And you hear me say, yeah, some people think I'm a villain. Some people think I'm a hero. And I was like, oh my God, I was so taking the piss at that time. If you're actually in that room and looking at the banter between me and the sound guys, and we're all having a laugh. They're old mates of mine, the sound guys now. I've seen them on the set for bloody 3 years now. We're all having a laugh about it. Like, but then you see the way they cut it on the show and make it look so much more serious and dramatic than it really is. It's just hilarious.
Yeah. And it's, as I say, it's great TV. So I just want to thank you both for coming on. It's been absolutely amazing to hear both sides of the stories, have you on at the same time. And it's so lovely to hear your side, Dean, because, you know, you hear all this and it really, you just believe everything you read in the press.
Yeah. Well, that's it. And it really opened my eyes to that. And like, we all kind of know that. We all know that we shouldn't believe everything we read in the papers or hear on the radio or see on TV. But once you actually go through it yourself and see it from the other side, it was like, whoa, it's like kind of mind blowing how manipulative the media can be. And that's partly why I started my YouTube channel, Dangerous Ideas with Dino. It's a big thing that we talk about on the show is the media and biases and how you should, you know, look at several media sources and then research it and see what the truth really is. It's very rarely what they portray in the media. Yeah. There's always an agenda. There's always an attempt at clickbait and just trying to get a reaction out of their audience. And there's no truth anymore. There's no real journalism anymore. It's all clickbait and rubbish. And so, yeah, that's why on my YouTube channel, I try and dig into the truth about that stuff. And I try and point out the blatant flaws and lies that has happened to me and other people. Look, little Bella wants to come and say hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
She's I'm giving up my Saturday night. I was supposed to be spending quality time with her. And
it's
I've got
my only night off. And
well, thank you for being patient, Bella.
Nice to meet you.
I can't hear.
Hey, I'll put her on the headphones. Hold on. Say hi.
Hi, guys.
Hey,
Hi.
it's nice to meet you.
Hello. Good. How's it going? This is our date night, unfortunately.
Oh dear. So we're
And
actually
if I have to
voting.
hear one more thing about MAFS, I'm going to have a mental breakdown. So
You know
We
what?
watch it every night.
My
make her watch it.
husband Nate has gone out because he's like, I'm not sticking around to listen to this. So he's at the gym.
Yeah. Well, you'll be
one more
glad to
story.
know, Bella. It's all done with now. So you can go and have your lovely date
Love
night
it.
with Dean. And we just thank you very much for lending him out to us, really.
Oh, no. Pleasure. I'll
Oh.
hand
Have a nice night.
There we go.
Oh.
She's very cute. She's very cute.
Yeah,
Yeah, she is.
she's cute. So we'll let you go and do your date night. I just
All
want
right,
to thank you
guys.
both very much.
And
Ah,
I'm
thanks
gonna
for
go
having
to
us.
bed.
Tracy, good luck with the birth. We
Thank
can't
you.
wait. We can't wait for that to happen, and we'll be in touch. You never know. We may be able to do some fundraising with you both.
Yep.
Obviously anything that's close to your heart, we can do something in the UK because that's what we actually do here. We do all this kind of thing, but we do really great events. So we'll be in touch.
Awesome.
And we'll do
Yeah.
something. Yeah, it'll be wonderful.
Definitely.
But now, thank you so much to the pair of you.
Thanks.
Thank
It's
you.
been a
Thanks for
pleasure.
having us.
Love. Bye bye.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.